the Mavericks sending Porzingis to purgatory, Washington. So the Mavs got Spencer Dinwiddie, and they also got Davis Bertans, obviously. And then the Wizards got Porzingis in the 2022 second round pick. I want to hear your thoughts first. I mean, it's quite alarming to me, but I'm gonna let you steer. I'm gonna let you steer the ship. What are your thoughts on that trade?
First of all, I feel like they saw Bertans and thought they could just replace him, Kristaps with Bertans, and that makes sense in their head. I understand that if this was like 2 years ago before Bertans got that contract, but Bertans, I don't even know if he starts right now. He's definitely not going to be consistent because the Wizards have been losing all season, and Kyle Kuzma is probably the only person on that team that's untouchable a little bit, and that's why he didn't get moved. But Bertans got traded for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And then you get Spencer Dinwiddie when you have Brunson. I think Hardaway's still injured, and then you have Luka. Spencer Dinwiddie is not going to find a role on that team off rip, and the stuff that he does, he needs the ball in his hands, and he needs your team to trust in him that he's going to get the job done, whether it's making plays, facilitating for the guys. He didn't find that in Washington. So if you're going to put him on the Mavs right now and just say, hey, Luka's right there, Brunson's right there, probably come off the bench. I mean, this is just kind of going to be like when you had him on the Nets when KD and Kyrie just got there and he has to find his own role. Like, it's not going to make a lot of sense off rip. I understand maybe if you're going to look at it like, hey, we might not make it all the way this year, or he could be a really nice piece off the bench and we do really try to make a push. But either way, he's going to be a nice asset in the long run, as well as Bertans. Maybe you get off of Kristaps' contract right now. Maybe we don't know if Luka and Kristaps really do have a thing going on, as in, in the offseason, they were saying how they don't think the pairing is matching up. They don't think that they can get it done. It looked pretty good this season when he was healthy. It looked really nice defensively. Like I said, I think last pod they were third in defensive points per game. I don't know if they're still third right now, but it looked pretty good. Getting Bertans and then getting Spencer Dinwiddie, that's not going to help defense, especially Bertans. He's kind of washed on that side. He can step in and be Kristaps Porzingis. He's not going to go to the paint. He doesn't do that. He's going to do exactly what you didn't want Kristaps to do all last season, was just get the ball and shoot the ball, and that's it. I mean, hey, if in the long run it works out, cool. But for right now, it looked like a really just like we got to make a move at the deadline to try to get better and move off contract.
That's interesting. Yeah. I was pretty alarmed because on one hand, I'm just like, what are the Wizards trying to do? Obviously, they had the heist, the heist of the century, getting rid of Russell Westbrook's contract, bringing in young talents with veterans as well too. Wizards started off really, really good this year, and I told you I was like, they're gonna be the ones to fizzle out. I knew they were gonna fizzle out. I knew that shit. It was too good to be true.
Yeah.
For DC sports. But obviously, with Bradley Beal, I think this is final. This is final year in the contract, right?
I believe so, yes.
Final year in the contract. He has a wrist surgery, so he's out for the year as well too. He honestly, I think he's out the door. He doesn't want any parts of it as well too. And I think he can't, unless he like makes an all team or an all star. I think that kind of takes away from his potential earning as well too. So it's going to be interesting to kind of hold out for as well. But them getting Porzingis, first of all, if I'm the Mavs, I would think that Porzingis would be more than a second round pick, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like the Mavericks could have definitely got more back from him as well, too. So I was just kind of curious on like, what was the point of getting Davis Bertans and getting Spencer Dinwiddie right now? Because I'm looking on SpotRack, which does a great job of giving you the breakdown of current contracts. Spencer Dinwiddie is not a free agent until he's 31 years old, and it's the 2024 season. And then Bertans is signed until the 2024-2025 season as well, too. So most time when you make trades like this, you tend to get an asset back and then pick up expiring contracts to create cap space or just flip them again. So I was just kind of curious on what was the process of going and doing that. I mean, they can always trade them in the future, but I don't really think this kind of solves either team moving forward. I mean, maybe I can see Porzingis getting flipped for a draft pick in the future, so that would be ideal for them. But from the Mavericks standpoint, you bring in Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd basically wants to go away from having everybody spread out, which last year with Rick Carlisle, he limited Porzingis' ability. Porzingis likes to play not only on the perimeter, but also on the inside as well, too, and be actually featured in the offense. And I just felt like it was a one-man show with Luka last year. You take away Porzingis, you add Bertans, who's a fucking sniper, by the way. Like you said, he can fill that void of just being that threat on the outside, but the defense goes away, the rim protection goes away, the potential pick and pop that they somewhat showcase this year kind of goes away as well too. So it's pretty interesting to kind of see what happens. And like you said with Spencer Dinwiddie, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt just because he just came off of an ACL injury, and typically with a major injury like that, it takes a while to get back. It's not like a Klay Thompson where, even though Klay Thompson had multiple injuries, he didn't rush back into it. Like they made sure he took even more time. Even with KD, he took even more time as well too. So I think we're going to see a better Spencer Dinwiddie next year. And I'm also thinking too, the reason why they actually got Dinwiddie was Brunson's probably going to want to get paid, right? So you're going to have to make a decision. Do we want to keep him here in our system, or do we want to have a more friendly contract with Spencer Dinwiddie? And we kind of bank on him learning the system and coexisting potentially with Luka Doncic in the backcourt as well too, because Luka's been playing more off ball. So I think that would be a good pairing, because we've seen Dinwiddie work with LeVert in the past. We've seen Dinwiddie work with Kyrie in the past to a small extent, but I think now it's just more so getting those reps under you, trusting more in your body, and seeing what happens moving forward. I don't really think it's necessarily a win for each team. I guess you can say it's kind of a win for the Mavs just because I guess Porzingis is always his biggest knock on him is he's not durable. He's not there when it matters most.
Right.
Because that knee injury has been kind of plaguing him since the New York Knicks days. So we never really got to see their potential. That would have been a steal as well too, because it's really hard for superstar talent players to go to small markets, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what they kind of do moving forward in free agency and what they kind of do with these players, if they're going to keep moving them around and whatnot. But Luka is still great enough and young enough to the point where with the pieces that he has around him, he can always make the playoffs. But now you just need that final piece. And if they can get that final piece, they can definitely move forward for